Right, hopefully this is working. I'm just going to quickly check that it is. Upcoming. Is it working? Yes, it is. Okay, sweet. Okay, so the first F1 race has finished. For the race lead, Verstappen doing what he does best, isn't it? I mean, I can't even be mad because he's just so good and no one can top him. And Perez second place. This is what I was telling everyone yesterday. I knew Perez would do a little bit worse in qualifying, and then that race pace of the Red Bull would push him up. And that's exactly what happened. So basically, I'm going to quickly just go over my team, how it finished. I will be using F1 Fantasy tools. The only thing we don't know yet is the fastest pit stops. If anyone does know, just drop it down below, because I don't know what the fastest pit stop time is. However, I do know the points each scored from each team. So for my team, which was, I'll show you guys my team here. So this is the team I used: the Perez, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Albon, Zhou. Thank God I switched over to Zhou, by the way. Whew. That was all on you guys, by the way. So thank you very much for that. Red Bull and Ferrari. Of course, the points haven't updated yet, so it might seem like there's no points and I've had a terrible weekend. No. It's just not updated yet. But basically, for a team that I had, if you do the maths, Perez 32, so it'd be 32. I believe it's 225 points overall, but I'll do it again. 32 times 2 is 64. Then Zhou 9 points. Then Ricciardo 4. And then Tsunoda and Albon sadly didn't get any points. But that didn't matter too much. And then Red Bull 87 with Ferrari on 60 points. Of course, they might have a few more points because it will be one of the big teams, hopefully, that got an extra few points on the fastest pit stops. And I know there was a few, I believe Red Bull did 2.2 seconds. I didn't see anyone do anything lower than that, so I'm hoping Red Bull got it. But yeah, it was a great start to the F1 Fantasy season for me. 224 points, I believe. Of course, it could go up with the fastest pit stops. And I was right about the Perez team. Having Perez and Red Bull and Red Bull and Ferrari was better off than having just Verstappen, which, I mean, is perfect for me because we can do the maths. So if you did the Ferrari Mercedes team, which luckily Mike, one of my subscribers, I believe he sent me his Mercedes Ferrari team, which I'll use for reference, which is, nope, it's not there. Where did I put it? Yeah, here. So you'd have Verstappen, Ricciardo, Zhou, Tsunoda, Albon, Mercedes, and Ferrari. Not a bad team at all. However, we can do the maths. 45 times 2, 90. Ricciardo got 4 points, I believe. Let me just double check that. Yeah, Ricciardo got 4 points. And Zhou got 9 points. And the rest of them didn't. And then Mercedes and Ferrari, without the fastest pit stop added on so far, will be 44 points plus 60. So that's 207 points. So still a decent race weekend. However, the Perez team was the better one so far. And then for anyone who had the VCARB team with Verstappen in it, you would have had 45 times 2 for Verstappen. Then I've got the team here. You would have had Stroll, which was a very decent pick, luckily. He actually had a spin at the start. Hulkenberg's fault. I thought Hulkenberg would get a penalty for that. But luckily he was able to recover and get a few overtake points. I believe that's where most of his points were from. Overtakes, yeah, 5. So it makes sense. So then Stroll with an extra 8 points on that 90. With Ricciardo, and that was the... And people would have put Zhou. I just forgot to change Bottas to Zhou on my second team. Zhou, and then... Who else did I say? Ricciardo, yes. So that would have been 111 plus Red Bull 87. Now the problem is, because it was VCARB, then an extra 7 points, 205 points. So as you can see, like I was saying yesterday, the teams were all pretty close. However, if you went for the VCARB type team, you would have got around 205 points. I'm saying averagely because some of you might have had the Alpines who got 5-4 points. Some of you would have had Sargent, Bottas, a few different variations, but like in general, you would have got around 205 points. And then if I'll do the Aston Martin team with Red Bull next. If you did the Mercedes and Ferrari team, you would have got 207 points on average. And if you did my team here, you would have got around, well, I got 229, really? What have I done wrong there? Who have I missed out? Let me do that again. I'll take 209 points. Very good weekend. Because this year F1 Fantasy will be a bit lower in scoring, purely because you don't have Alonso, Stroll, Verstappen and Red Bull all in one team, with Aston Martin and Red Bull being the fastest 2 peeps. Let me redo that then. I'm going to double check it anyway. So Perez, 32 times 2 is 64. Zhou, 9 points. Ricciardo, 4 points. So that's 77. And then Tsunoda, Albon got no points. I'm just happy they didn't get a minus or no one crashed out. Then 87 from Red Bull and Ferrari 60. Yeah, I'm getting 224. Unless I'm really missing out something obvious. I can't see what it would be. But yeah, of course, the practice points, the pit stop points haven't come in yet. But I think Red Bull are always good at pit stops, so I'm hoping they got it. But yeah, so 224 points for my team. 207-ish points for a Mercedes Ferrari team, and Red Bull VCARB 205 points. Also, so I can't remember the Aston Martin teams. I need to remember. Oh, that's falling down. Aston Martin teams. Anyway, 212. Yeah. Oh, what the hell has happened to the blur there? Hello, do you want to focus? There we go. Yeah, no, it was still good. It was still better. 207 is still better than the average Verstappen VCARB team, though. So it actually was very weird how equal on points most teams will be. A lot of people three times as well this weekend. I was seeing on the global leagues and even in my league. I think it's just because people want to be top of the league for like one weekend, which is fair enough. But I mean, if they 3 times Verstappen, it's not the worst shout in the world. Again, as well, I think it's so funny. I think Sainz had a great race and he did deserve a lot of credit. However, driver of the day, I mean, I'm happy Verstappen didn't get it because it would have meant the Verstappen builds got more points than me. But this is the reason why I don't think driver of the day is a good idea to have in F1 Fantasy for 10 points. Because Verstappen deserved it. He got fastest in qualifying, which I mean has nothing to do with the race, but he led the race. He set the fastest lap. He didn't do anything wrong, and he won by like 20 seconds. What else does he need to do? I get that it wasn't like he didn't put on a spectacle to put to anyone else, but he kind of did deserve it. That's why an F1 Fantasy driver of the day shouldn't be given points. It's really weird. But yeah, and then on the Aston Martin team, I believe for the Aston Martin team, you would increase to... Yeah, I agree. It is a shame because oh shit. Yeah, I'm trying to get the camera working and it just does not want to stick. Sorry about this. Come on, stay. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, then Aston Martin, the build, I believe. Oh, for Pete's sake! This is doing my head in. I'm just gonna hold you guys, like I'm a camera just here. Right. So the Aston Martin team, I'm gonna put the I'll just hold you guys and put me here. So for Aston Martin teams, Visa Cash App, Stroll down to. Let's say Stroll down to Ricciardo. Never mind, Tsunoda, and Albon down to Sargent with Aston Martin. So let's see what the points would have been for that. So Verstappen, 45 times. I've got to figure out how to put this on my computer. This is rubbish. I hope the audio's okay as well, because I've just basically got my mic and this now in one hand because it just doesn't want to stay there. But right, with Verstappen 90 points, and then Ricciardo and Tsunoda 4 points, and then Sargent 3 points. A great recovery again by Sargent to actually just score points because he had an issue with his car, went off, was miles behind, and still managed to get a few points. Not salty at all. And then Aston Martin 18 points to Red Bull's 87. Oh, okay. So yeah, if you went for the... Am I missing anyone in that team? I did Verstappen, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Sargent. Oh, Zhou. Yeah. So you would have got around 211 points on average if you had the Aston Martin team. But from what I've seen so far, my judgment was right with the Perez, Ferrari, Red Bull teams. They seem to have done the best. I got 224 points. Annoyingly, I could have done better because if I had Sargent instead of Albon, and Stroll instead of Ricciardo, and then Tsunoda dropped down to like a Magnussen, then that was like the best points you could have got. But I don't think many people... Actually, we can see how many people... Can we? No, because we can't create a team. Not many people chose Magnussen, Sargent, or those, or even the Alpines of 5 and 4. So I'm not too worried about that. So I should be proper up there in the standings. Annoyingly, F1 Fantasy takes forever to update, and I mean we still haven't got the pit stop times out, so that could be really annoying. Also, the website I'm using to see the current F1 Fantasy points is F1 Fantasy Tools. If you want to use them, they're quite easy to use. You can't look at your own teams unless you pay for it. Well, like with their like Patreon or something. But this stuff's free to play. Free to play, free to see. But yeah, couldn't have gone much better for me, I'd say. First weekend in, much better than last year's one. Well, I had a stinker the first race of last season, and there's a few things I will change about my team, which I'll talk about on Monday. Realistically, I should have kept Zhou. I changed him. No, damn it. How many points did Bottas get? Okay. It's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. So, oh, where the hell did chat go? How have I lost that? Okay, I need to get this up. So, sorry, I cannot see the chat. Ah! There we go. Let's get that over on that side. Okay. Yeah, I should have kept Zhou. Oh yeah, I've spoke about that. It works. It's $5 a month. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get it. Because I like helping the people who set up these tools, because I do use them. So I'll probably set that up after this stream, because obviously I can't set it up now because I'm not going to show you guys my bank details. But yeah, the things I'm going to be probably talking about a lot in my teams is it really worth anyone below Stroll? Because it seems like it's a complete guess at who's going to get points. So you may as well just go double Haas with Sargent. And then you've got enough points for Verstappen, obviously. We'll see how the team values increase and decrease. But I think Ferrari will increase. Red Bull will increase. Perez will definitely increase. The big boys on the increases will be Verstappen will increase, but not by that much. Sainz will increase by about 0.5 million, I think. Sup, you should have gone Max. No. Morris. My team with Perez did better than any of the Max teams. I got 224 points overall. I haven't looked at the fastest pit stops haven't come in yet, but I don't think it will change too much. And yeah, that camera angle was not the best. And yeah, the problem is the constructor, obviously Aston Martin and VCarb, they gave you so little points, like I was saying yesterday, that the drop down from Ferrari to either VCarb or Aston is 42 points or 53 points, and Perez getting 64 points to Verstappen's 90 points obviously is, what's that maths, 20 is a 26 point drop. So I got my predictions right, thinking that the Verstappen team was not the way to go. Thank God. I was worrying so much, but then when Perez got in to the podium positions, I knew he was going to overtake Russell, and then from there it was just about keeping Sainz at bay, which thank God he did. I'm going to try and get a better. Here we go. That should stay put now because my hands are getting tired from carrying this. Right, don't fall over. I can see it already going to fall over. K-Mag with more points than Alonso. Who would have guessed that, innit? I genuinely don't. I don't know how it happened. Alonso didn't have the best of races. I would actually say Stroll. I mean, Stroll got unlucky at the start. It wasn't actually his fault what happened to him with Hulkenberg. For once, Stroll was not. Yeah, there we go. I figured it out. This shouldn't fall down now. For once, Stroll actually looked like he was the better Aston. I mean, because of how he came back from his incident, Alonso, he drove a decent race, but nothing like an Alonso masterclass. That is really annoying me. Just stay put, please, camera. Ricciardo not as expected. Yeah, I was just talking, Morris, about how would it be better to literally sack off Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Albon, and drop them all down to the Hasses, the Saubers, in time for bringing in Verstappen over Perez, because at the end of the day, Ricciardo got 4, which was the same as the Alpines, less than Zhou. It wasn't a lot, and Tsunoda and Albon got 0 points. So I thought Sargent was going to get a DNF as well, which was very scary. However, it didn't work out like that. K-Mag, yeah, honestly, what was that? How K-Mag has got 6 points is beyond me. I mean, that's why I really do believe, like, maybe we should just be getting Stroll, and then not thinking about anyone else below that, because it's like a roulette wheel. Let's get real. It's 50-50 on whoever's going to do good. You got lucky that Perez did well. Nah. Pure skill, mate. Pure skill. Nah, I told you. Perez always does all right at the first race. And that Red Bull on race pace looks so good. And it's perfect. Because if I keep my team like this, slowly getting ready to bring in Verstappen, I will have Verstappen, Zhou, Bottas, Sargent, Magnussen, or Hulkenberg, if I have enough money. Then Red Bull, Ferrari. That team's going to be beautiful. It would just be beautiful. Thank you, Zach. We got some good points. Yeah, if you did my exact team, we got 224 points for anyone who was wondering how many points I got. If you did the VCarb team, you would have got around 205 points. If you did the Aston Martin team, you would have got around 207 points. And then let me redo the maths for the Mercedes-Ferrari team. Michael, I've actually been using your team as the Mercedes-Ferrari team to show because it's not showing us the team values. It's quite hard to remember. Yes, definitely. Good constructors over everyone. I'll get back to the Mercedes-Ferrari team. I'll quickly answer this. Yeah, no, honestly, how did the vote end? Because I'm pretty sure that was the reason I changed the show. But new to F1 Fantasy, is it better to prioritize good constructors and just put on low-budget drivers? So it's 50-50. You want to have the best one really good driver, so like a Verstappen or a Perez or one of the Ferraris. Then you want to get the good constructors of Ferrari and Red Bull seem the best. Because as you can see, Verstappen got 45 points. He's 30 million. Red Bull, 87. And even though if you've 2 times Verstappen, that would have meant you wouldn't have Ferrari. And Ferrari got 60 points, and Aston Martin only got 18, and VCARB got 7. And that's the other constructor you would have had. So definitely prioritise constructors over drivers. However, you still need one good driver to put the 2 times on, which would most likely normally be Verstappen. Also, anyone who puts Sainz over Perez in my team, what a way to do it. I did not expect that, but thank God he got driver of the day. I think Bottas will have more to prove this year. Got unlucky this weekend. Yeah, he was well off the pace. He will get better in Saudi Arabia. But also, with Perez, we know he cooks in street tracks. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to have Perez for one more weekend while I'm dropping all of my guys down. And then I'm going to change my team, hopefully, for the 3rd race, have enough points to bring in Verstappen. And then that's basically me done until something big changes, like Ferrari get worse or someone catches Red Bull. Is it better to... basically. The cheap drivers, let me show you the cheap drivers. So, Hulkenberg, Albon, Tsunoda, Bottas, Sargent, Ocon, Ricciardo, Gasly, Magnussen, and Zhou. It's all... You could literally put them in a wheel, spin, and see who you get. And it's just luck at that point. Of course, there's a bit to it. Like, I might actually be hopping on a few Alpines. I'll talk about this on Tuesday, I think. I'll make my video for it, and I'll talk about it now. Yeah, no, I don't, Boris. That's probably what's most likely gonna happen. I can't get lucky 2 times in a row. But yeah, it really is just Alpines, because they were 19th and 20th. It actually worked out very well for them because you can't really do any worse. You can only kind of go forward or just stay at 0. When will Fantasy update? Nice, okay. Adjust its points. It'll probably be later today, potentially like in the evening, or most likely I'd normally just check. Normally on Mondays, but because they haven't even got the fastest pit stop times. If anyone knows the fastest pit stop times, could someone put it in the chat, because I have no idea. Boris, you're a pessimist, mate. You got to hop on the Perez train, man. Hop on the bandwagon. Yeah, it takes a while. It's annoying, but I don't like how also it doesn't just have like live tracking. That's why for anyone, F1 Fantasy Tools, I'm going to be downloading it. Well, I'm going to be supporting them and getting it available so you can see my team on the go as well. And I'll make all of the teams that you could be looking at. So I'll make a VCARB Red Bull team, or a Red Bull Aston Martin team, a Mercedes Ferrari team, and a Red Bull Ferrari team. How many transfers do we get between race weekends? Now I was a little unsure how they were doing it this year, because they didn't really explain very well. So, oh no, they did. I'm being an idiot. You get 2 free transfers, which is good, because you used to get, I believe you could do 3 transfers, which was way too many for your team, considering there's only, 7 things in your team? How can you change almost half of it in one weekend. What's the point of wildcard? But most likely, I will be changing 2 in preparation to get Verstappen. If I show you my team, I'll most likely be getting rid of Ricciardo. I've seen he's now way too expensive, and you could easily bring in just one of the cheaper drivers at 6 mil. And I'll be keeping Tsunoda as a punt, and I'll also be dropping Albon down to, again, potentially a Bottas, a Haas, or an Alpine. Actually, it's not a drop to Alpine, but yeah. Got 225 points with Perez, Stroll, Mag, Tsunoda. Yeah, you got 1 more point than me, mate. It's perfect, innit? The Perez, Red Bull, and Ferrari team worked like... It worked perfectly. It couldn't have gone any better. Yeah, I mean, Russell and crashing out. I did find it funny on the when I was watching the F1 today. Who was it? Was it Crofty? No. Which commentator said it? One of the commentators literally when Russell went wide and off the track, which let Leclerc through, basically. He was like, oh, you don't see that often from Russell making a mistake. And I was sort of sitting there like, does he know who Russell is? Nah, live as. To be fair, the Magnussen, Harris, yeah, why did you pick Magnussen, if I can ask? Because that was a masterclass of a pick. Same with Stroll. And yeah, annoyingly, Alpine weren't very good in qualifying, but because they just pushed up into the race, where did they finish? They finished like 16th, 17th. Has it not even updated yet? Oh, there we go. Oh, here we go. We can look at the pit stop times. Right. Let's have a look. Oh, but it doesn't show the stopped time. Actually, we can sort of get a glimpse of who had the fastest pit stop. Yeah, but I don't think by a lot. 0.3 mil maximum. So let's see. So Hulkenberg, that was not a fast pit. Lance Stroll with a 24.4. Leclerc 24 on the dot. Good for us Ferrari pit stoppers. That means he had to be fast in the pit stops. McLaren had a fast pit stops. So from the looks of things, Ferrari have the fastest pit stop. Any faster? Yeah, Ferrari again. Ferrari might get all the fastest pit stops. That would be incredible. No, whoa, 23.8. Okay. Yeah, Ferrari might have all the fastest pit stops this race, because I know it's not showing us when they were stopped on, like, if it was a 2.1, 2.2. However, you can guess from the times that they have, if it's less, they would have been they stopped for less. So yeah, it looks like Ferrari have all the fastest pit stops. Oh, never mind. Mercedes snuck in. Okay, so it's Ferrari fastest, Mercedes second fastest, and then Ferrari third fastest again, if I'm getting this right. I don't know why the... Here we go. Oh, yeah, okay. That's fine. Now I can see the chat. Yeah, it might have been Brundle, Marco. Are they going to be consistent? Well, that's the issue I'm discussing, where the cheap drivers are just... You never know what's going to happen with it. Any team below Aston Martin looks like they'll be battling each other or around like the lower end of the grid. So there's not many points on available, and that's why Ricciardo down to a Haas now actually looks, after seeing that V-carb aren't as fast as we all thought, that it doesn't matter too much. But yeah, basically it's also another thing about Haas that is why I'm starting to get a little bit closer to them, especially Magnussen, because he's worse in qualifying, is we've got to remember in testing, Haas did the most laps, so they technically could be the most consistent team without any malfunctions to the car. I picked Mag to fit into Stroll. I felt Stroll was much, mate. You've aced it. Are you sure you only got 225 points? Let me have another look at your team. I think it was 2.2 Ferrari or Red Bull. Yeah. I think from the looks of things, Morris, Ferrari got the fastest pit stop. Potentially Mercedes. But then, yeah, Red Bull are another one to look out for. But let me have another look. So, Perez, let's find out your end score. Perez, you have 32 times 2. Then you had Stroll, which was 8 points. Then you had Magnussen, 6 points. Tsunoda, 0. Albon, 0. Red Bull, 87. And, yeah, no, you're right, yeah. Wow, how did you only get 1 more point than me? I guess... Oh, you didn't have Zhou. You didn't have Zhou. There's the extra point that I couldn't see. I was about to say. Because I was really wondering why I couldn't see. So it might be worth the wild card this week to get lower drivers and up to Stroll. I don't think so. Because my plan for this week is to do this. I'm looking at the complete wrong screen. Because I've got 2 screens. Would be dropping... actually increasing Ricciardo to Stroll. And then Tsunoda dropping down. Now, mate, Stroll is never a strong pick. Yeah, I thought the same thing. But that Aston Martin just does look a lot better than VCarb. I thought they'll be a bit closer. And I will say, Ricciardo and Tsunoda kind of screwed each other over. They could have easily got Magnussen and Zhou if they just stopped fannying about with each other and work as a team. So, a bit annoying. But it's the way it is, isn't it? And then, yeah, but yeah, basically, yeah, Michael, I would not wildcard yet because Ricciardo to Stroll, Tsunoda to a Haas, and then that will clean up enough room on next race weekend if we have enough money to go to Verstappen, to drop Albon, and then bring in Verstappen. No, hang on, I'm lying. Yeah, okay. This could be interesting because if you had Stroll here, you'd want to... I would... You know what? I really don't like the feeling of having to use the wild card this early. So I would most likely take... maybe take the -10 if you have enough to get in Verstappen for the 3rd race weekend, but you have to drop back down to drop Stroll down. Maybe take the -10, or I'm thinking, actually no, because let's have a look at Stroll's points. Stroll only got 8 points. Actually, you'd be taking a -2 if he got 8 again. It might just be worth, yeah, dropping Albon first with Tsunoda, keeping Ricciardo, and then Ricciardo and Verstappen the next race weekend. That's probably what I'm going to be doing. But yes, I always go with Nico over Kev. The problem with that is Hulkenberg's so good at quali, and then he just drops off in the race. I know he had an incident with Lance Stroll. However, he still didn't end off the race well, and Magnussen always does better in the races. But anyway, yes, I will update you all on my Twitter when we get the fastest pit stop times out, because that will add quite a few extra points, like around 10-20 points if Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, whoever gets it. But apart from that, I'm going to end the stream here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all on Monday or Tuesday with the next F1 Fantasy video, and then I'm going to be doing another video about F1 on the week. I still need to think of what it's going to be, but I'll figure it out later today. But anyway, thank you all so much for coming in. Hope you all had a good first race weekend on F1 Fantasy. And also, it was a decent race. It wasn't the worst race we've ever seen. Yeah, Verstappen winning it. It's normal, win it. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later. No problem, Marco.